Welcome back to another video here, guys. Today we're going to go over the rotator cuff and the muscles that make it up and why it's so important. So a lot of people have problems with the rotator cuff. They'll have shoulder injuries from not being able to properly engage the shoulder muscles. So when we think about the rotator cuff itself, the rotator cuff is made up of 4 muscles. They're called your sits muscles. So they're made up of the subscap, teres minor, infraspinatus, and supraspinatus. Now, all of these muscles in conjunction hold the shoulder in place. They help with stability as well as keeping the deltoid there. It creates stability of that shoulder joint. So when we look at our shoulder joint, we have the ball of the humerus into the socket of the scapula. So a ball and socket joint, and what we want is stability through that joint. We want to be able to rotate that ball and socket nice and smoothly. We don't want any shearing of that humerus on the socket. So when we don't have proper control of those rotator cuff muscles, that's when we start to get that shearing effect through that joint. And that's what leads to problems. Now, with these muscles, these are the muscles that are going to strengthen and keep that stable, but we want to avoid some workouts that can actually cause some problems to these muscles. When we look at bad exercises that might cause some issues for these muscles, we want to look at things like the behind the shoulder, behind the back shoulder press. When we're doing that motion, having the arm back that far is actually putting a lot of strain on the shoulder to press up into that motion. When we can have the bar out in front, which is a more natural motion for the shoulder, and do the same exact workout, the same exact engagement of those shoulder muscles. Upright rows, same thing. If we have the bar out in front of us and we're pulling up with that motion, when we go up into this motion, that's not a natural motion for our shoulders. And what you'll do is, bringing this up, you'll actually pinch the supraspinatus underneath the acromion. The supraspinatus attaches from here, that top part of the scapula or your wing, goes down and attaches onto the humerus. It goes through the acromial fossa. So when we go into that upright motion, it pinches down on that muscle and can cause tearing, can cause fraying of the muscle. Now, if we want to think of a better exercise for upright rows, if we really want to do upright rows, instead of having the bar out in front and going up into that pinching motion, go through a more natural range of motion with this using dumbbells. If we use dumbbells and go up and out to the sides, we're not getting as much of that pinching through the muscle itself. It's a more natural motion of the shoulder, bringing it up into that position. We're engaging those muscles a lot better with that workout. So try that out, try those different workouts instead of these bad exercises that might cause some rotator cuff issues. Now, with the rotator cuff, having a strong rotator cuff is going to help with stability through the shoulder. It's also going to help with balancing that back to the front of our bodies. When we have weak rotator cuff muscles and we have a strong chest, we're going to have that motion of pulling the chest forward and rounding the shoulders. Rounding the shoulders is going to turn off those muscles even further and not be able to get that proper engagement through the muscles. So what we want to do, think about posture-wise, we want to bring the shoulders up, we want to bring them back, down, engage those muscles, stretch out the pecs instead of rounding forward into that hunched position. So this is the rotator cuff. This is why it's so important for the rotator cuff to be nice and healthy, because it is basically something that needs to be stable in the body at all times for every workout that you do. If you don't have that stability, everything that you pick up a weight with is going to be painful. It's going to be problematic. So let me know what you think of this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.